Arrived. Time having arrived at 2 p.m. on Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. We are in the Mayor Bill Carpenter Executive Boardroom on the first floor of 45 Garden Road, Manning Towers, Brockton, Mass. 02301. This is a regular session of the Board of Directors. This is the public hearing, and all are invited to attend, in person or on Zoom. Also included in our agenda is the hearing of visitors section. Please note that all Brockton housing meetings are recorded. This meeting has been posted at City Hall and also on our website. And we are in compliance with the 48-hour rule. I am now calling a roll for a quorum. Timothy J. Sullivan, the chair, is here. Ernest Pettiford, the vice chair, is in the hospital. Janet R. Trask, member.
Here.
Carol Roberts, treasurer.
Here.
Assistant Treasurer Taylor Harris.
Here.
We have a quorum. All of our meetings are held on the last Thursday of the month, unless a special is needed. Some of our members are here on Zoom, and the rest are in person. Because of this, all our votes are done by a roll call. We were just talking about the governor's memo on remote. Let me read that off to you. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and state of emergency, on March 12, 2020, Governor Baker issued an executive order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general laws, chapter 38, section 20. Pursuant to the order, public bodies are temporarily relieved from the open meeting laws requirements that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. That was extended to April 1st, 2021, extended again to April 1st, 2022, extended again July 1st, 2022, extended again July 15th, 2022, extended again to March 31st, 2023 by Governor Baker, and extended to March 31st, 2025 by Governor Healy. You are hereby given notice that the members of the Brockton Housing Authority are called to meet in a regular session on Thursday, January 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m. in the Mayor Bill Carpenter Executive Boardroom, Manning Tower, 45 Garden Road, first floor, Brockton, Mass. 02301. This meeting/hearing of the Brockton Housing Authority will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting/hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in any specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. The public is invited to view and/or listen to the meeting via phone, computer, laptop, or tablet. To do so, download the Zoom Cloud Meeting app in any app store or at www.zoom.us at 2 p.m. on January 23rd, 2025. Click on and join the meeting to enter meeting ID number 836-2540-0124, passcode 375651, or use the link http://zoom.us/836-254-00214. You may also join by calling the conference line at 1-646-558-8656 at 2 p.m. on January 23rd, 2025, and enter meeting ID 836-254-00124. Passcode 375651, followed by the pound sign. The board chair will instruct participants on the appropriate time and manner for public comment during this meeting. If we could all please rise, if you can, remove your hats and silence your phone for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Here.
Commissioner Trask,
Here.
Commissioner Roberts,
Here.
and Mr. Chairman.
Here. Item 2, approval of the minutes of the special meeting of December 20, 2024. Item A in your packet. Tebow?
I have had the opportunity to review the minutes. I find them to be in order and would recommend that they be approved as written.
We need a motion and a second on item 2.
So moved. Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to approve the minutes of the special meeting of December 20, 2024 as written. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, people.
Commissioner Harris,
Yep.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 3, hearing of visitors. Any member of the public is invited to speak before the board. Visitors wishing to be heard must sign in with name, address, and contact number before the start of the meeting. Each visitor will be allowed 3 minutes to speak on each subject. The board will take any issues under advisement and respond at a later date. Total time for hearing of visitors will be limited to 15 minutes, which will be strictly enforced. There will be no passing your 3 minutes to another. All visitors can be heard on agenda items only. Is there any hearing of visitors?
That is, there's nobody who signed it, Mr. Chairman.
There is no hearing of visitors. Item 4, correspondence.
Members of the board, you have one piece of correspondence. It's a letter from DAC. Michael, what does DAC stand for? Do you remember?
Digital Assurances.
Digital Assurances Corporation. It has to do with how we report on our finances regarding our bonding ability. And I wanted to share it with the board because one of the things that I think you take great pride in, I know I do, and I know Michael and the rest of the staff does, is that we are financially sound in practices and also in our actual finances. And this is a recognition by the entity that is charged with overseeing us and how our finances are and the reporting requirements, which Michael's office makes sure that's happened. So I just wanted to share it with you.
Just one thing, Tony. Because there's a certificate involved in it, we used to have them all hung up downstairs.
Yeah, we have them all. We were talking about hanging them up. I'm looking at Chris, who has he somehow got this job years ago. I don't know how he got it.
Where are they, Fred?
In your office.
My partner here, we're.
So we're looking, we're actually thinking of putting up shelves, so you could put like a little shelf like that. Chris is more persnickety. He wants it, in a precise way, but we will work to get that done.
Well, that's an absolute, that figured you could hang that up. So good.
We have a lot of plaques.
Well, congratulations, everybody.
Very good.
Remember, Susan, he was hanging them up all over?
Oh, yeah, he loved those plans.
Item 5, approval of the bills of the regular meeting of January 23rd, 2025. Item B in your packet. Commissioner Roberts?
Ready? Yes. I've gone over the bills with Mr. Tebow. And everything is, there were a couple of questions, everything is satisfactory and the questions were answered. And I move to accept the bills as they are.
We need a second.
Second.
Janet, was that you?
Yeah.
Yes.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion is to approve the bills for the regular meeting of January 23rd, 2025 as presented. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried. Unanimous. Item 6, appointment of home ownership leasing officer, exhibit C in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
Ask Mr. Fluff to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. You're close enough.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow, members of the board. With the hiring of somebody today, this will fill out section 8 for the first time in a long time. We've been,
Clap over there.
Bruno's going.
probably since Bruno left, or maybe even before. We've had a number of different moves. Bruno left. Tamara Collymore resigned, went somewhere else. We had Crystal promoted to office manager. Karen Pachulis promoted to landlord participant facilitator, and we've been interviewing and hiring for a while. And so the latest person is Stacy Leacock, a Brockton girl. Can I say girl? I'm old enough.
Yeah,
A Brockton woman.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Graduate Brockton High, lives here in Brockton. You can see from her resume that she has worked the last 10 years at the Newton Wellesley Hospital. When I go through resumes now, and I go through a lot, for somebody to stay 10 years in a job is really quite remarkable. And that's what we're looking for here at the Housing Authority. Somebody to come here, become part of our team, part of our family, and work here till they retire. And so we're very excited. Stacy is very qualified. She impressed the interview committee of myself, Chris Bonnie, and Crystal Guerrera with her maturity. And we recommend that the board hire her as a home ownership leasing officer.
If I could also, I meet with the candidates before we bring them to the board, and I look for the person's work ethic. I look for their integrity. We had a great conversation. She is a person, I believe, of very good character, and I will be a great addition to the Housing Authority. Janet, she's not from Campello. She went to North.
Oh, come on.
Which was it used to be when I told you the previous executive director who taught there, that was one of the qualifications to work here. You had to go to North
That was true.
But she's from the city. She knows it well, and I think she'll be a great addition to Chris's team. Which is a very good team, by the way. They do a lot of very good work in a chaotic environment, and I think she'll be a great addition.
Well, you have a great resume, Stacy.
Thank you.
We need a motion in a second, item 6.
So moved. A second.
Carol Beecher,
Second.
a motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion to appoint Stacy Leacock of Brockton, Mass. to the position of home ownership leasing officer effective February 10th, 2025 at the step 1 rate of $46,790 per annum. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes, motion carries unanimous.
Congratulations.
Stacy, I have a letter to read off, but I see this is the second one. I'll do them both at the same time instead of doing it twice. I just want to read it off to you. So I wanted to mention that you used to work at the Newton Wellesley Hospital. His wife had her knee done there. She thought it was the best hospital in the world. They
It
treated
is.
her unbelievable.
We have some good nurses there that really care. And the doctors work very hard too.
Yeah, she was well taken care of. She had a knee off, the total replacement right there. It was, I guess it can be a real, I never had it, but I guess it can be a real rough operation. They
And
really took care of it.
recovery too,
Yeah,
but it takes some time.
it's 2 years now, but she's,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So she's up and running.
no, I brought it. She's up. Item 7, appointment of capital improvement project manager, exhibit D in your packet. Evo?
Could I ask Mr. Flip to speak on this also?
Thank you, Mr. Tebow, members of the board. We have before you today, Robert Smith, for the position of capital improvements project manager. We have been looking to add to this department for some time. It's a 3-person department right now. Chris, who's here before you all the time, Nancy, and they have a clerk, Kim. We've gone through several clerks over the last couple of years. But with the Campello project coming closer and closer, the work in this department is going to explode. And so we need to buttress them, otherwise poor Chris and Nancy are gonna burn out very quickly. The person we have before you, Rob Smith, is an employee of the Housing Authority working in the maintenance department. Before us, he worked for Beacon Properties. By all accounts, everybody he works with, Rob is a hard worker, a conscientious worker. When we interviewed and we started talking about technical aspects of the job, he told us that he keeps all the manuals for all the heating systems that we have at the Housing Authority, the many different ones at all the different developments, in his truck, so that if something goes wrong, he can refer to it and fix it. So this is the type of employee that we treasure.
I would also like to speak on of the reason we're adding. It's in the budget that you approved. It's been there a couple of years. We've had some difficulty finding the right person to be in this department. We are now not able to come up with the amount of work that is in that department. It's getting delayed because of the administrative processes that are extremely burdensome, which regardless of what we want to do or not, we have to go through those. And that takes up a lot of staff time. And then once we get in the field to make sure that the jobs are done right, and that's where, you know, Mr. Smith will be working in both areas. I believe his current supervisor has come to me personally and said, although he would hate to lose him, and he made sure I understood that, it'll be more difficult for him, that Mr. Smith is a man of, again, I'll use the word integrity and work ethic, and would be a great addition. And I believe that true through my interviews with him and my speaking to him over the number of years that he's been here, which is a relatively short period of time, 3 years now, Rob. But he's developed a reputation amongst his coworkers that way too. So I think we have a great candidate, and it's going into a much needed area. Because when Campello starts, that will be a lot of additional work. And then the money is starting and hopefully will increase from the state. And the state is another animal. Every job is about twice as hard as it should be. But if you're gonna get the money, you have to do the work. And we need the addition for the department.
I like that word buttress.
Well, it was me. You know, it must have been you. That's the word.
Yeah,
We need a motion and a second, item 7.
so moved.
Second.
That's twice, Taylor.
I'm losing today.
You gotta be quicker. A motion was made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to appoint Robert Smith of Northeastern Mass to the position of Capital Improvements Project Manager effective March 3, 2025, at the 2025 Step 1 rate of $73,162 per annum. Any discussion or questions on the motion?
No, another Brockton High grad.
Yes.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
Congratulations.
Let me read this letter, it's for both of you. I know you've already been here before, you probably heard it already, I'm gonna say it again. Let me thank you for wanting to work for the Brockton Housing Authority, one of the best jobs in Brockton, in my opinion. We own 2,100 apartments in Brockton and administer over 2,500 rental assistance eight vouchers. This is not an easy job. We, the Board of Commissioners and the executive team, put our residents first. They are our number one priority. Without them, we don't need me, this board, the buildings, or the staff. Please remember to treat our residents with respect. We also say that anyone can have a bad day, be a little sharp or argumentative for no apparent reason. If this should happen to you, please smile and walk away. Don't argue. We can all strive to be a better person. If you can do this, you will go far in this agency. I am glad to meet you and welcome you to the team. The board meets here every month in this room in many different subjects. So please feel free to come if you have an interest of any of the items. Come on up and check out here. During COVID, we couldn't get anybody. Everything was on Zoom.
I know.
Welcome aboard. Congratulations. Thank you.
welcome.
Welcome aboard. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
They can't shake your hand, but they can say welcome.
Mr. Chairman, if I could take the candidates over to the,
You always do.
Human Resources Department.
That's a good way of thinking out early.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, the most important part for the candidates is they go over and do the paperwork, so when the first payday comes up, they get paid.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Nice seeing you, Stacy. Nice seeing you, Ron.
Good luck. Item 8. Approval of Brockton Housing Authority 2025-2029 Federal 5-Year Annual Plan, Exhibit E in your packet.
Yeah.
Mr. Sheedy.
Mr. Tebow would say, if I could allow Mr. Sheedy to speak on this.
Here he is.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow. The mission is, if you remember back in, I believe it was September, I brought before you the federal annual plan. This is the supplement to that. It's the 5-year plan. It basically states how we're gonna meet the needs of our families and residents and applicants moving forward in the next 5 years, how we're gonna enable them to become participants and flourish in our systems. It has goals and objectives. There's a progress report on how we plan on meeting those goals and objectives. And then it also ties into the city of Brockton's consolidated plan and how we work in conjunction with them in meeting the needs of the residents of Brockton.
I want to thank Mr. Sheedy for putting this together. It was something that came up at the last moment. He got right on top of it and had it advertised and put out for it. The annual plan is the primary plan for the housing authority. The 5-year plan is simply a summary of a sort of a bigger overview of what might happen. Obviously, as of January 20th, with a new administration in on the federal side, and this is a federal plan, things change. So what's going to happen in 26 could be dramatically different than what happened in 24 because of, the administrative priorities, administration's priorities.
Good thing you're on top of it.
Well, with a little push.
We need a motion and a second. Item 8.
So moved.
Give it to Kate.
Second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to approve the Brockton Housing Authority 2025 to 2029 Federal 5-Year Annual Plan as presented. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
And Mr. Chairman.
Yes, motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Item 9. Approval of certificate of substantial completion, second floor balcony repairs at Rainbow Terrace, project 667-1A. Exhibit F in your packet.
The next two items actually are what I talk about the bureaucratic way that the state works. But I'll ask Mr. Barry to speak on them, and it's very important that the board vote to bring these to completion.
Thank you, Steve. Good afternoon, board members. On September 19, 2024, Polaris Architects and Engineers, our firm representing the authority, deemed that MCI Contracting Incorporated, who was a contractor performing the work at Rainbow Terrace second floor balcony, to be substantially complete. A punch list was performed and all items were corrected. We would recommend to accept the substantial completion as of September 19, 2024 from MCI Contracting Incorporated of 1296 Washington Street, Stoughton, Mass. For the 667-1A Rainbow Terrace second floor balcony repair project, cap up number 044088.
But I don't know if it's a typo or I just have it wrong, but I have it as exhibit F, exhibit G.
How's that?
Chris doesn't have that in his
No.
the packet here.
But I don't even have enough. I got a G though.
I do, and then another one coming up.
I know that's the next one.
I have enough. You don't have enough?
Yeah.
No,
You should
There
have.
you go.
We'll go through them 3 times.
I don't have one. So
No. It was in there.
here it is, right here. I got it.
All right.
My mistake, Chris.
No?
I got it. We need a motion and a second, item 9.
So moved?
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Janet Trask, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion is to approve the certificate of substantial completion as of September 19, 2024, to the contract with MTI Contracting Incorporated of Stoughton, Mass. For the second floor balcony repairs at Rainbow Terrace, project 667-1A. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 10. Approval of certificate of final completion, second floor balcony repairs, Rainbow Terrace, project 667-1A, exhibit G in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Barry to speak on this, please.
Steve. Again, on December 18, 2024, Polaris Architects and Engineer, the firm that was representing the authority, deemed that MCI Contracting Incorporated, the general contractor performing the work at Rainbow Terrace second floor balcony repairs project to be complete as per the plan to spec dated October 26, 2022. Also, that all required closeout documents, warranties, and as-built have been received and all punch list items have been completed. We would recommend to accept the certificate of final completion as of December 18, 2024 from MCI Contracting Incorporated of 1296 Washington Street, Stoughton, Mass. For the 667-1A Rainbow Terrace second floor balcony repair project, cap of number 044088.
We need a motion and a second, item 10.
So moved. Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion to approve the certificate of final completion as of December 18, 2024, to the contract with MTI Contracting Incorporated of Stoughton, Mass. For the second floor balcony repairs at Rainbow Terrace, project 667-1A. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes, motion carried, unanimous.
Thank you, board members.
You're welcome. Item 11. Approval of affirmative action goal, Exhibit H in the packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mrs. Rose to speak on this, please?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Every year, we have to make sure that we meet our affirmative action goals in all of our state public, family, and elderly developments. And each year we have done that. But now the state is asking that the board signs off, basically stating that we have met our goal. Had we not met the goal, then we would have to come up with a plan to correct that. So now they're asking that the board sign off, and then we have to upload it into the CHAMP system.
Sounds important. We need a motion and a second, item 11.
So
so
moved.
moved. Second,
Thanks, you got it on that one.
You got it, Taylor. A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Janet Trask. Motion to approve the following affirmative action goal for the Brockton Housing Authority. Whereas the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities mandates that all local housing authorities abide by fair housing regulations for tenant selection and state-aided housing programs as per requirements contained in Chapter 121B and EOHLC Regulations 760 CMR 4021E 720 CMR 4.07 and 760 CMR 5.00, as well as fair housing and anti-discrimination laws. Whereas the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities will be implementing new PMR criteria to reinforce and review housing authorities' compliance with fair housing requirements. Whereas the Brockton Housing Authority is responsible for abiding by and maintaining the board-adopted Fair Housing Market Plan in 2022, Language Access Plan in 2018, and Reasonable Accommodation Plan in 2022, ensuring all policies are updated. Whereas the Brockton Housing Authority adopts affirmative action goal placement rate and completed housing form for CHAMP. Whereas the Brockton Housing Authority will biannually determine whether the percent of minority households in each Brockton Housing Authority program is significantly below the percentage of minority individuals in the general population of the city or town, or in the general population of the applicable metropolitan statistical area, MSA, whichever is greater, and as 760 CMR 4.072 and 760 CMR 5.103. Oh, whoa.
Somebody read it.
Whereas the Brockton Housing Authority determined that the percentage of minority tenant households in each state-aided public housing program for fiscal year 2024 is above the percentage of minority individuals in general population of the city, town, or general population. Therefore, be it further resolved that the Brockton Housing Authority Board of Directors adopts the affirmative action goal and placement rate and completed fair housing form in CHAMP. The Brockton Housing Authority Board of Directors further acknowledges that the Brockton Housing Authority has met the affirmative action goal for each state-aided housing program. Therefore, placement rate is not required. You need a roll call at that?
Yes.
Any questions or discussions on item 11?
If I could, I do want to explain why we're doing this. So, under the new law, each housing authority is given a goal. It's based upon the metropolitan statistical area. Brockton, does not have a problem reaching that goal. As you probably, most of you know, Brockton is the only majority minority city in the state of Massachusetts.
Is the DEI thing that the president talked about when he was inaugurated, I mean, does that affect us in any way?
We had a discussion this morning at a meeting with Housing and Livable Communities. They're having their attorneys look at it. Right now, no, it doesn't. Until we get direction from HUD through a notice or a regulation, we continue as we are. I don't think, remember, fair housing, most of it comes from the 1968 Civil Rights Act. It would be a huge, huge change. So him saying something, or the president saying something, and it actually becoming regulation, is a long, long process to go through.
Maybe not in our lifetime.
Probably not. So, I mean, but I don't know, and the answer is we don't know. You know, but we'll see how, and we are a state-created agency. I remember when one strike and you're out came up under the Bill Clinton administration, and we went to court and we said, you know, we're here, this family or whatever, that we're here, we're evicting them under the one strike and you're out policy, which was a federal policy, and the judge said, we're a state court. What's your argument? In other words, I don't care what the feds say. So again, we don't know. It'll turn out, but there's a lot of verbiage going on right now. I would tell my staff and our board, just go forward with our mission. And we'll make, we'll make adjustments if we have to, but we'll move forward.
Right.
Any other questions? Item 11? Hearing none, roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries, unanimous. Item 12. Review of financial comparatives. Exhibit L in your packet. Exhibit I in your packet. Mr. Tebow?
If I could ask Mr. Pacious to speak on this, please.
Thank you. What you have in front of you is the financial statements, or call them comparatives, up to the month of November. So that's 11 months of our fiscal year. Basically, programs have been running stable on the federal side, and as always, state side needs more attention regarding the deficits and so forth. So
If I could mention too, that the state, we have reached out to them regarding this. I have done it personally. Mr. Pacious has done it. They have not paid the money they owe us. Never mind recognizing the fact that we're operating at a deficit. So there will be some negotiations with them. I'm hoping that they are fairly friendly. They've spoke about it being that way. If you remember, under Mr. Chairman, you might remember this. Under Mr. Sergi, at one time, he had to start boarding up units to get the state to pay attention to the fact that we were not being provided the funds to maintain the units in habitable ways. I don't think we'll get there. I don't. It's a different administration in HLC and in the governor's office. But I believe they're overwhelmed. They've spent the last couple months trying to pay their bills to contractors. I don't know if we've had difficulty, Chris.
Yeah.
You know, where they're way behind on paying their contractors. So I think they've taken their financial staff and had them work on that. Therefore, they're not paying housing authorities the money they owe them because they're working on something else. And then we have to negotiate our budget. But just for full disclosure, we, you know, at one time in I believe Commissioner Burns was the chairman at that point. We had a meeting at the State House and the Senate chambers regarding this, and that's how it got resolved.
We may have to do it again.
We may have to do it again. I hope not. I hope it doesn't go to that, but we will push again. It's mission driven.
The first page was great.
Yeah, I know. And then you get to the state side and it's,
Just one question. It's
sure.
You worked at other housing authorities, is that the same? everywhere?
Yes, yeah, when I was in Medford, we had the same issue with the state program. They just were not giving us enough money.
Just making sure they're not picking on us.
No,
Right,
It's,
no, they're not.
it's urban areas.
Yeah.
It's where you have lower income families, so you thus require subsidy. If you don't require subsidy, if you're living off the rents solely, you're fine. Abington is fine. Easton is fine. Hanson was fine. They don't get subsidy. But you get about 60 cents on the dollar of subsidy, and that's good. It used to be much less. So we're not getting the money that they know we need to get it in their defense, and in all the taxpayers' defense. You know, taxes are high anyways. How can you get more money and how can you support the thing? So, you know, it's a real push and pull to get it done. We did have a meeting with Cambridge on another item. I mentioned that, you know, because we're talking about financing and getting ready to go out to bid for investors. I mentioned our state program, and John Filippini, the director of finance in Cambridge, he said, "Don't talk to me about the state." I thought so it is an issue. The current administration, both at the department, HLC, and the governor's office realizes it.
We need a motion in a second, item 12.
So moved.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Carol Roberts, seconded by Commissioner Taylor Harris. Motion to accept the financial comparatives for the period ending November 30, 2024, and put on file. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes,
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Item 13, Executive Director's Report, Exhibit J in your packets. Mr. Tebow?
I've given you quite a bit in my report this month, but I would like to review some things. We have been trying to get standard operating procedures in place for some time. Actually, it was my goal in 2020, and then COVID came along and sort of flipped that on its head. We're back at it. Last year, we did some substantial work, and we have significant standard operating procedures in the finance department. I had asked Bruna when she started in her position to work on standard operating procedures for inspections. And I did give a copy of that to you. As you can see, it involves the asset managers, the resident service coordinators, the maintenance department. It's a significant process that we'll be going through. We actually have a meeting tomorrow morning with the asset managers. We'll then follow up with the maintenance men. We have a meeting with the Worcester Housing Authority to, they're already using these pads, these electronic pads for the maintenance department. So we'll be going out and taking a look at how they work. But we're moving it, it will happen now. It's very important that it happen now because when we go have people invest with us, they're going to say, just like any large investor, what's your corporation look like? What are your policies? How do you operate? And then they'll look for the indicators. What are your tenants' accounts receivable? That's another thing that Bruna will start working on, a tenants' accounts receivable process that expands from the finance department. We already have how it's done in the finance department. We have some great policies on that, but we'll expand it to involve asset management. We'll have the resident service coordinators involved, and then also how do you collect your funds? So we're working towards that. We were awarded a third family self-sufficiency coordinator, so we'll be doing some organization there. The program's getting bigger. That's wonderful. That's the thing that really, I mean, it's exciting, right? You have a person come in, they might be down on their luck a bit, they come, they work, and it's their hard work, supported by us. And they go off and become self-sufficient. What that might be buying a house, might be starting a business, might be whatever, they move on, and that's a great program we're looking forward.
That's terrific. That's terrific.
It is, it is. Focus Strategies has completed its review of the resident services program. We should be bringing a report to you at the March meeting, and it would be for you to review and accept. But we should have some best practices. We're looking to, again, have standard operating procedures for our resident services program. So the resident services program run out of the Sullivan Towers is the same as run out of Bel Air, is the same as run out of Caffrey Towers, and so on and so forth. Big news on January 7th, the planning board, the Brockton Planning Board approved our project at Campello, phase 1. They saw all phases, but they approved, we gave them the information, we asked for approval of phase 1, that's huge, moving forward. The only comment they had, and this is significant, again, the only comment they had is they would like to see some upward sconce lighting on the buildings, period, along Main Street. Other than that, it was just accolades, and they were very appreciative at the information provided to them to approve that. Working with HUD to get this approved was very complicated. Working with the architects in doing this feasibility study was very complicated. Working to get through the city and getting it was very complicated, and none of it compares to the financing, which is extremely complicated. We are working through that now. I have given you emailed a memo to you from Margaret Moran to me yesterday. I wanted you to see it. When we got approval from HUD, we got approval as one project. It's still going to be one project. We've been talking to them for 2 years about this. It was also going to be rehabilitation. And it's now going to be 3 buildings, new construction. So they want the board to acknowledge that that it's going to be 3 buildings, new construction, and what the new thing, but they want a vote on that. So I would like to have a meeting as early as next Tuesday on one item. It can be done by Zoom, this one item.
Should it be done today?
It can't, it wasn't on the agenda. I didn't get it 48 hours before. That's, it was close, it was close. I got it on, again, too late to get it onto the agenda. So again, this should be, it's up to you how much time it would be and any questions you have, but it probably would be less than 10 minutes. Is there any time on Tuesday that would be better for you, or?
Tuesday.
I turned my phone off.
It's the 28th. Well, I mean, we could,
28th, yeah.
doesn't have to be Tuesday. It could be, Wednesday. I would like to get it done next week if we can.
On Tuesday, I'm open after 3:30.
All right. You want to do 3:30 on Tuesday? Janet, 3:30 on Tuesday?
I'm looking, no, I can do it in the morning, but Taylor can't do it in the morning, right?
Right.
I can do 9 a.m.
Yeah,
or 9:30.
9 a.m.?
I'm open.
Yeah, she's up at 4. Carol's up at 4. She wants to know if you want to do it at 4.
4 in the morning.
I might be up at 4. I don't sleep, so.
Yeah, perfect.
9 o'clock, is that what we're saying?
9 a.m.
Yeah.
On Tuesday.
9 a.m., no problem.
Does that mean we have to have it out first thing tomorrow morning, Sue?
Yep.
Okay. One agenda item. No.
No.
Uh,
I really do. I want a contract on the mobility.
9 o'clock.
all right.
We need a motion in a second, item 13, which is the
Oh,
executive.
I might have one other thing I want to mention. No, that's it. Thank you. Oh, you do have the article that was in the Enterprise, about the building. It was a very, very nice, article. Very nice, now we gotta get moving.
Gotta get it built.
Yes.
Now you got the project manager.
Get the money, we'll get it built.
That's it.
We need a motion in a second, item 13.
So moved.
Second,
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts. Motion is to accept the Executive Director's report for January 23rd, 2025, and put on file. Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call.
No.
Commissioner Taylor, Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
and Commissioner Roberts,
yes,
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
Great photos.
yeah.
Item 14, old business. Any old business? Hearing none. Item 15, new business. Any new business? Taylor, I just wanted to ask you, is 2 o'clock on Thursday fine with you with this new job?
Um, right now it's okay. I didn't have anything on my calendar, so I blocked it off.
It can be changed. It doesn't have to be.
No, we'll leave it for now. We'll go case by case.
Okay,
Thank you.
if there is a problem, just let us know so we can
Yep.
change it.
I sure will.
There's no problem at all. We can change it easily.
Tom, the brown bags, are they still coming from the Charity Guild? It says hundreds of brown bags.
No, that's not from the Charity Guild. The Charity Guild is another program that they bring food to our different developments. That's through the Boston Food Bank and actually run, on the ground here by BAMSI.
Oh, and
It's
BAMSI does it.
Years, Janet, Commissioner Sullivan used to meet on Saturday mornings with Mr. Sergi, and they would go to Canton, was it?
Someplace in Canton, but in Tony,
Mark Zioli, Tony Zioli.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, it's still going, it's bigger now, Mr. Sullivan. It's much bigger.
And
Let me ask, will our next meeting next month be on the 27th or the 20th?
27th.
I will be traveling that day. I actually will just be getting back into town around 2 o'clock, so I will not be able to attend that one.
We could move it later, sure. But if you're just landing then, Commissioner?
Yeah, I get in at 2:30. My flight's landing at 2:30.
If everything goes perfect, should be in the airport at 2:30, and getting anywhere from the airport is interesting.
Okay. So that's on Thursday, the,
27th.
27th,
so it's gonna be what time?
2 o'clock. That's
Oh,
what time
okay.
it is now.
Okay.
The finance department and our accountants are working to close the books. And the board has to vote on the books closing, again, another state requirement, not a federal requirement, where we get $60 million. We get a couple million from the state, and they do this. But it's quite a bit of work for them to get the books done, so we want to do it at the end of the month. I guess we could do it on the 26th if you'd be available, Taylor?
No, I'm traveling the 25th, 26th, 27th, unfortunately.
Okay,
What about the 28th? The next day?
28th is fine with me.
Friday.
Michael, any problem there?
I don't think so. Taylor, is
20
28th better for you?
Let me check real quick.
28.
That's a
It's
Friday.
a Friday.
On Friday.
If we can move it to 3, if we can do 3, I can do it on Friday.
3 o'clock, okay. Michael, 3 o'clock? Yeah. Carol? 3 o'clock on the 28th.
Thank you.
So that's the 28th of February at 3 o'clock.
Is that okay with
Okay.
you?
Yep.
Any other new business? Item 15? Hearing none. Item 16, we need a motion to adjourn. And don't leave, we gotta do a roll call afterwards. From
So
anybody.
moved. So moved.
Second.
A motion has been made by Commissioner Taylor Harris, seconded by Commissioner Carol Roberts, and the motion is to adjourn. Any questions, discussion on the motion?
No, we had a good time at the breakfast.
Yes,
Oh,
we did.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Roll call, Mr. Tebow?
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Trask,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
and Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Motion carried. Unanimous. Meeting adjourned.
Bye, everybody.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thank you.